Bethesda is skipping Steam for Fallout 76. IGN has fired its Nintendo editor over a plagiarism scandal. The developers of PUBG have got audacious plans to fix PUBG, and there's plenty of big plans for Diablo. It's the gaming news roundup. Let's get on with it.
This week in the news, Fallout 76 won't be coming to Steam. Bethesda has had close ties to Valve's PC gaming platform for a long time now, but it seems things are changing. The game's beta and launch version will not be on Steam, as Bethesda confirmed to PC Gamer. Quote, the PC version of Fallout 76 for both the beta and the launch will be available only via Bethesda.net, not on Steam. Choosing the word launch specifically could hint that the game will come to Steam at some point, but on an answer in the Fallout 76 test build FAQ, it says, quote, both the beta and the game will be available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and on PC via the Bethesda.net only.
This is interesting because I remember Skyrim actually being the game that made me install Steam, like it was 2011 or whatever, and I got Skyrim on a PC. I remember it saying on the box, and I remember at the time going, this is ridiculous, this is like DRM and all this, and I was pushing back against Steam in 2011 because I had to install it just to play Skyrim, and it's one of the early big games that I remember and always associate with Steam. So this is a surprise for me, I've got to be honest.
A lot of people talking now about mods and what the implication this has on mods, because Steam makes it easy to install your mods because you can just go into the workshop and then just install from there, and then you just jump in. Makes it a little bit more difficult if you've got to use Bethesda's. I don't even know how that works.
And PUBG Corp, the developers of everyone's battle royale equivalent of a first kiss, has announced some frankly revolutionary plans to continue developing the game that they made. The Fix PUBG campaign was launched this week and promises to address the problems limiting PUBG's true potential. PUBG Corp says, fix the game is a phrase they've been hearing a lot of lately. The team has created a roadmap for the next 3 months to explain how it will change and improve the game in the way the community has been demanding. Among the top changes will be updates to both client and server performance, new anti-cheat measures, better matchmaking, and the usual pledge of bug fixes and tweaks.
You can just see him now, can't you, chanting in a group and fix the game, fix the game. I find it laughable, right? It'll be 12 months since they released the game, and that is when they're planning to have the game fixed.
Yeah,
like,
as in released in full, because it has been in early access before that as well, when this stuff should be done, really.
That's my reaction. You know that meme where the guy's like that and there's like all these question marks, like how are they planning to have the game in a playable state fixed a year after release? It just seems mind-boggling.
This is a good kind of marketing push, I guess. They probably could have done all that and would have done all that anyway, but just by telling the world and calling it Fix PUBG, it becomes like a hashtag and a marketing kind of line that people can latch onto, and a promise that the game will be in a better state in 3 months' time. Let's check back in 3 months' time and see what it looks like.
But what they're saying is, essentially, our game is broken. Our game is broken, and it's been broken since launch, since we released it, since it actually launched in 1.0, and it won't be broken anymore in 3 months' time. But thanks a lot, PUBG Corp.
That doesn't quite work as a market. Our game is broken. Our game is broken. Hashtag, our game is broken.
And IGN has fired its Nintendo editor Philip Muchin after an investigation into plagiarism. The site had removed the review of Dead Cells after YouTuber Boomstick Gaming accused them of plagiarizing his review. IGN investigated and said it would re-review Dead Cells and posted a video in which host and producer Brian Altano read out a statement. He said, after allegations were brought against an IGN staff member for his review of Dead Cells, we conducted an investigation of this editor's process, ultimately leading to taking down the review in question and parting ways with the writer yesterday.
So Brian Altano kind of did this video, and it was basically just kind of rewording this entire statement that they put out before that, which was like this big lengthy blog post, and he picked out YouTuber Boomstick Gaming because that's something they were criticised for initially, because they apologised and everything and didn't say who the YouTuber was properly, and so they kind of corrected that in this video that Brian Altano did. And I think Brian Altano was actually like the podcast host of like the Nintendo podcast, something on IGN, with Philip Muchin for a long time, so he's kind of having to read the statement about his colleague. It's been a rough week for IGN.
Yeah, it's been a huge news week. A lot of people have picked this up, and it's that whole plagiarism thing, isn't it? It's like, who's responsible for this? A lot of people blaming IGN, which I don't feel is fair, because plagiarism is might be a big problem in this type of industry, right? In written reviews, it's easy to check because you've got these online tools like a WordPress plugin, whatever. So you can cross-reference what you're publishing out there versus anything else that's ever been. You can't do that on video content, and this is where the problem comes in. IGN, as soon as they realised that it was a problem, investigated, fired the guy, and to my money, they've had a good response.
Well, it's difficult to imagine what else they could do. This is exactly the kind of reaction. If they've investigated and they found that, he actually did plagiarise, and they've fired him, they've taken the review down, they're re-reviewing it, that's basically exactly what you would expect them to do, and they've done it. And Blizzard, the makers of gaming's most shiniest cinematic, says it has multiple Diablo projects in the works. And as always, whenever a company announces multiple projects, the internet assumes one of those projects has to be a Switch port. Blizzard community manager Brandy Camel announced, quote, "We have multiple Diablo projects in the works. Some of them are going to take longer than others, but we may have some things to show you later this year." Kotaku's Jason Schreier says in his report that he's pretty sure one of the projects is a port of Diablo 3 to Switch. The strongest piece of evidence? Blizzard teased back in February an image of the Diablo 3 logo on a light switch, shortly afterwards saying, quote, "The tweet was meant to be a fun engagement piece. We do not have any plans to announce Diablo for Switch. As for what the other projects could be, one of them surely has to be a new big Diablo game." Now, that definitely is kind of a new rule on the internet, by the way. Multiple projects equals one of them being a port of an older game to the Switch. That's just the rule. Except this time they've teased it. They've kind of teased it, and then weirdly they teased it and then immediately went, "We were just having a laugh, guys. Don't take it too seriously. We've got no plans." Why do it then? Why do it?
My only takeaway from this story is the Blizzard community manager's name, Brandy Camel. That's a hell of a name, that, isn't it? It's like brandy in one hand, camel, the cigarette thing.
Camel cigarettes.
So
cigars,
it's like the cigarette, cigars.
Classy,
right? Sounds like a good night's entertainment.
Classy name. Yeah, Diablo 3 on the Switch, that does sound really cool, actually. I do want that. And I want all games on the Switch. Just make that happen. Those were our stories for the Sunday News Roundup. If you want to read a little bit more about them, there'll be links to every one of them in the description below. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. There's another one right there which you can watch now if you want. And a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.